Well, you know, I think the one thing also that surprised a lot of people with Empire is the way they actually tackled homosexuality
Right.
on the show. You know, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've said so many times that Empire is just pushes the limits, especially for being on TV. And they go there for whatever story they're trying to tell. And so homosexuality in a family, and especially having someone that doesn't agree with it and that be your parent or father, was really, I think that really hit home for a lot of people in the gay community, because they're so used to not being accepted, and especially by their family. So that made it just that much more relatable in families, you know, relating to the storylines and things like that. And Jussie just blew up from the role. People love him. So yeah, it's great the way they tackled that. I think they nailed it.
I heard he actually got a record deal with
He
Columbia.
did. Him and Bryce Shear actually did get a Columbia deal, and I'm so happy for them.
Dope, dope. Now, from what I understand, like some of those scenes in Empire, especially when Jesse was a kid, was actually based on Lee Daniels' own experience, because Lee Daniels is gay as well.
Right.
How did that sort of? Did you ever talk to these guys about kind of how that came together and sort of the you know the stories behind that?
I've actually never went into detail with Mr. Lee Daniels about it, but I know that it's something that's very sensitive, and the way that he put it out was, you know, no fear, and he absolutely laid out the carpet as to what he went through in detail, and some of those things I know that were really home for him, that happened to him. It wasn't just, you know, writing a story and seeing what was going to be good. So that's what made it a lot more real as well. I think for Jussie even playing it too, he added some of his own feelings into what, you know, he thought Jamal would be going through, AKA Lee Daniels. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually heard, like, you know, when they had the flashbacks,
Yeah.
you know, when he was a kid and he, you know, he walked in with a dress and his dad went crazy and threw it in the
Right.
garbage can. I heard like Lee Daniels went through something kind of similar with his dad.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, but stuff like that happens every day. And I think it's really cool to have that be on TV, and accessible to everyone. Even if you don't have cable, you know, you can watch this show. And I think that's what made it so big. I mean, people in the Caribbean, I go to these places, and people that I don't even know would really watch this show are infatuated, because it's so easy to access, as well as being so, you know, relatable to everyday life.
Well, I mean, when you talk about the Caribbean, you know, especially places like Jamaica, it's very homophobic. You know, I know that, you know, they have a history of homosexuals being killed, and, you know, I mean, you have a lot of songs that are, you know, very homophobic and
Right.
so forth. So it's interesting, that, you know, like what did you hear from people in the Caribbean about that?
I went to Trinidad and to Barbados, and honestly, they love the show. I haven't been to Jamaica yet, but I mean, they're absolutely in love with the show. I mean, more than people I've met in America, they feel so passionate about every character, and like just the show in general, and the music, especially the music, and the storylines too. So it's really interesting to go places, and have not been there, and have not even thought about going to the Caribbean, and being able to go there and have people be so infatuated with the show, and so ecstatic for season 2.
Well, I remember Jesse went on, I think, Ellen,
Yeah,
and he actually talked about being gay himself and said he was never actually in the closet, that he was always forward with his sexuality.
right.
Yeah, so you actually have someone who's playing the role who's actually gay himself, and I think that's what kind of, I think, connects people with that character because of the authenticity of it.
Right, totally. And I think him doing that in that way, in that fashion, and letting people know that he's not ashamed and that he kills the role, that made it just that much more lovable. And I think his character is going to continue to grow, especially now since that he's running Empire now. So we'll see what happens, but I think people are absolutely in love with his character.
Right, you know, I actually forgot that Terrence Howard got locked up.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
So Jussie is actually the president of Empire now.
Right. So he has the power now. So we'll see what happens. And everyone's going to be rooting for him, I know, because they come up to me, they love Jussie, who plays Jamal, and they love Taraji Cookie. So it's going to be an interesting season.
Now, your character on Empire is actually bisexual.
She is.
Now, is this something that is accurate in your personal life, or this is just a character you play?
No, it's just Tiana, not me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, was it hard to get into playing a bisexual character when you're not bisexual yourself?
It kind of was difficult just to try to understand, and I didn't want to be offensive to anyone, but I kind of wanted just people to understand my point of view because I'm not. So it's just that same thing, vice versa. So being able to get into character for that and have it being my first role on television ever was a little bit difficult. And I just wanted to understand why she was doing this now, because obviously when she was brought into the show, she was straight. So I sat down with a few of the writers in production, things like that, and they enlightened me on like more of what she was dealing with in her life. And it's more about, the inside than just trying to be bisexual. So that's what I got more from it. In being an actress, I just wanted to nail it and bring as much reality as I possibly could. But no, Tiana's bisexual and I'm not.
Gotcha. Now, you've seen like a bunch of celebrities actually come out as bisexual. Miley Cyrus came out recently.
Yeah.
Karuchi, I think, came out recently.
I seen that. Yeah.
Do you think that having these type of characters on TV is influencing people to actually come forward with this type of thing?
I think it could be influencing. Honestly, it could be influencing real feelings, or it just could be influencing curiosity. I think everything on TV and in entertainment period influences a lot of things from day-to-day life, whether it's clothes you put on, to how you do your makeup, or to, I guess now, who you like. So I think it is very influential. But I also think that being you is the most important thing, and that shouldn't waver as to which sex you like, per se.
Playing a bisexual character on TV but not really being bisexual in real life, were you getting hit on by a lot of girls when you were out because they figured since you're on the show like that you're like that in real life?
I have been before, yeah. I realized now, as being a new actress, people do take roles very seriously, as is to people actually calling me Tiana. They think it's real life. And that's, I absolutely understand celebrities now. It's like I'm a completely different person, than these roles that I pick up. So, they have before.
Okay. Any crazy stories about that? Like anything that really kind of stands out?
Not really, no.
Yeah, my cousins, they were avid watchers in porn and had saw me on MILF Hunters.
Okay.
They saw me on MILF Hunters, and they went out and actually bought a movie and took it to my grandmother.
You're the only person, one of the few people that looks like you. In my case, one of the only ones that was light-skinned. Our family was light. Therefore, when we go to our village, and when I actually buried my father, I had to bury him. I had to bring up a lot of AK-47s.